Day 3, teaching you how to blind taste wine like a pro. Again today, you're gonna taste wine. But first, we need to go over body and texture. And yes, wine has texture. It's not just wet. First thing, sight. We need to look at the viscosity of the wine. You might be thinking, Miranda, what does viscosity mean? Well, in wine terms, we're really looking at like how much that liquid can move within itself. Hi, editing Miranda here. The more physics definition of this is the property of a fluid that resists the force tending to cause the fluid to flow. So something that's really low viscosity would be more like water, and high viscosity liquid is more like olive oil. So if you were to take the two side by side, you would see that the water moves very freely within itself, very low viscosity, and the olive oil does not. It's very viscous and it's really thick. So take your wine, swirl it in the glass, and see how much it's able to move within itself. And now you get to taste. Day 2, we went over how to properly smell the wine, and today you're going to do pretty much the same thing, but with tasting it. So take a sip, swirl it, swish it, let it sit on your palate a little bit more rather than just spitting it out immediately. And think through that grid. Think about the characteristics you noticed on the nose. Are you seeing those on the palate too, or is the wine changing? Because the wine could be really fruit forward on the nose, and then you taste it and you're like, oh, I'm picking up on these herbaceous notes that I didn't see before. I'm picking up on more like a mushroom flavor that I didn't see before. And make note of that. You know why we do that? Oxygen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead back to day 2 quickly and go through that video where I explain how oxygen can affect different chemical compounds and how you perceive them. Now, how do you gauge things like acidity, alcohol, tannin, phenolics, and sweetness? You feel it. All of these things you can feel from like the tip of your tongue all the way down into your chest. Acidity. This is that mouth-watering feel, and the best advice I've been given on this is to take the wine, sip it, swirl it around a little bit, swish it around, spit, and then immediately put your head down and keep your mouth open. And notice, how much are you drooling? I'm serious. Is it like a fountain right away? It's just going crazy. That's really high acidity. Or can you open your mouth and put your head down for a few seconds and there's not much happening? That's much lower acidity. Alcohol. This is that burning sensation. You're gonna taste the wine. Yeah, swirl it, swish it a little bit. Swallow it. Yes, this time you swallow, don't spit. And then take that breath. See where it burns. Is it more just in your mouth, or does it go all the way down and warm into your chest? Because what we feel is directly related to the amount of alcohol. So lower alcohol all the way to high alcohol wines. Tannin is kind of a drying feeling, and your gums are very sensitive to it. So when you taste the wine, again, swirl, swish, make sure you're getting it really up and around the gums, so that when you spit, you notice how dry it is. I mean, have you ever had your gums so dry that like your lips are sticking to them? Yeah, that's what tannin can do. And this one is a little bit harder to do without actually tasting. Wine, you can do it with some teas, but my best advice would be to one, get in a tasting group if you can, because that way you can purchase one wine and get to taste like 10 or 15 of them. Also, get something like a Nebbiolo next to a Gamay and taste them side by side, because it's a high tannin and a low tannin wine, and you'll really start to understand what this is. Phenolics or phenolic bitterness. It can be a little bit more difficult for people to learn. The best thing I've learned is to kind of feel for it on like the inside of your cheeks or side of your tongue. And you're swishing around that wine, and we're talking about white wines with this. Do you feel that kind of grippy feeling, or is it like really bitter on the side? And with phenolics, rather than having a range of like this is low to high, it's really just yes or no. Is it there or is it not? And sweetness. This is the easiest one for pretty much everyone because we're so familiar with it. Like with foods and other beverages, we already kind of know how to gauge how sweet or not sweet something is. And with wine, the terms we're using is it goes pretty much from like bone dry all the way to like the sweetest of sweet dessert wines. All of these things together add to the overall body and complexity to the wine. Now, if you're following along on day 3 already and you're not following me yet, what are you doing? Because you don't want to miss what I have for you guys on day 7. Be sure to save this video to refer back to when you're tasting, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when we go over how to talk like a somm.